So welcome back to Rough Restos. We're finally back on the Capri again. Sorry, I had a few weeks doing other bits and bobs, been busy at work, so couldn't be in the workshop. But we're going to make some progress this weekend, hopefully anyway. So I did record a little bit a week ago, but we'll get into that in a minute. Not sure why everything in this car seems to be a pain in the ass, but of course, being old American, I tried a 7mm and a 6mm socket on here. Didn't fit. That's because it's a 1/4 inch, isn't it? Buggers. Way before my time. And then with all this crap in here, you can't get anything. Even when you can get a socket down there, you can't actually get anything in to undo it. So you have to hold the socket down and get grips on it to loosen it off. Lock the mechanism back, but it's undone. So yeah. Here is our accelerator pump diaphragm. Ooh. Pretty obvious why it's pissing out fuel now though, with all these big splits in it. So we need a new one of them. Today what we plan to do is get the carb sorted. So I had a look online, found out what carb it was, and went and, well, did a bit of searching. Found a rebuild kit in the UK, but wasn't too sure on it. And then Thomas recommended Rock Auto in America. And turns out they're great. So for a fraction of the price, literally almost a third of the price, you can get a better quality carb kit from America for this thing, which is perfect. So we got a carb rebuild kit. For now, all we're going to do is use the accelerator pump diaphragm and such, because until I know how it's running and all that, I don't want to dive in and start messing with the carb, because I'll know what issues are there before, if there is any. So we sort that out. We also, while shopping there, thought, screw it, a cheap Duraspark module in this country is about £46, and from Rock Auto, the cheaper ones are £16. So, screw it, we got one of them as well for spares, there's just no harm in it, might as well. And then we've also got the carb fuel filter kit, and that was only a couple quid, if that. I think it's like £1.70, and the cheapest one was £1, so you really can't go wrong with that. That's spot on. I think they use these carbs in a lot of Ford V6 and 2.8s for a while, and I think even Chevys. It's quite a list of things anyway. I think it's basically a double barrel Holly knockoff, but motorcraft version. So we'll get the fuel accelerator pump diaphragm sorted, rebuild that so that's not pissing fuel. We'll reconnect then up all the fuel pump lines and change the old perished lines. Then I think we'll have a look at the tank. We'll see if there's anything in the tank, if it's crappy, if any work needs to happen to it. If it's all fine, or if I can clean it out and sort it out, we will get that ready and I'll shoot off and get 25 litres of fuel. And with any luck, we'll have it running off its standard fuel system again. And we can start tidying bits up and seeing if it drives. So yeah, we'll crack on that for a minute. So it turns out the GoPro has just screwed me and my audio is no good. So I'm going to try my best to voice over. So basically, my luck's just run out. As I was saying, it's not going to last that long, and it didn't. So with the accelerator pump, I just went to go screw it back on, and yeah, the bottom left screw bolt decided it wasn't going to thread in because there was no thread there. So obviously when I'd removed it prior, it must have taken the threads with it. So yeah, of course, I'll best get this carb off and we'll see what's what on the bench and see if we can fix it. So to sum this clip up, I remove a few vacuum lines, ponder what the other vacuum lines do, and remove a carb. That's about it, a nice and simple one. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be once I'd kind of worked out what was what and what's going to go back to where. So yeah. Simple. Well, this is the last clip with knackered audio, thankfully. Anyway, so what I've done here is I've taken a peek and there's no threads in the hole. Completely gone. But what I have done is had a bit of play, and I don't know what threads they are. They're most likely some Imperial threads to match the Imperial bolts, so would make sense. But considering I have no Imperial threading tools nor any Imperial bolts or anything on the shelf like that, because So in the UK, it's all metric, and I just know metric. Yeah, so what I've done is I've had a look, and an M4 is too small, but an M5 will fit fine. So to verify this, a M5 needs a 4.2mm drill bit. Yeah, and I've put a 4mm drill bit in a hole and there's a bit of play. So the hole's already the right sort of size. So we'll put an M5 tap down it and see what happens with that. If all good, yeah, it'd be nice. But of course, I shortly realised the hole wasn't that deep, and my basic threading set doesn't have bottoming taps, so I could only get in threads about 3/4 of the way, with the holes only being 15mm deep, or not even that. I think I couldn't get enough threads to be happy. It did thread in it, it did feel fine, but I wasn't confident, and I don't trust that aluminium because it seems a bit soft. So in the end, what we settled on, putting a stud in there, so that way you haven't got the same force pulling and twisting the threads as you tighten up. But to be very safe, I've chemical metal the thread in there, so it really can't go anywhere. And if it did go anywhere, I think we'd have to fill the hole and re-drill and tap again. But we're not hoping for any of that. Now it's got new, well, we'll have new gaskets. It should all be spot on. So, we'll tap that out. Hopefully it will seal, and we'll see you in a second. So that's that repaired. As you can see, what I've done is I've put in a M5 stud and a nut on it. That stud is threaded about 3/4 of the way in, and then just to make sure it's 100% stuck, it's chemical metalled in. If for some reason that comes out ever when it's next being serviced, that can be drilled out, or it can be re-chemical metalled and tapped down to the size it needs to be. So that's that one sorted in now. He's all good now. Well, we'll find out when he's on the car. So I've put the new base plate and gaskets on, so they're ready to go. So I might have to flip a gasket and look at that, but still ready to go. So we'll get this one back on there in a minute, and then see what stuff needs to be hooked back up to what for now. I'd like to know what this crap is, to be fair. That must be something with the EGR maybe, or... Oh, that's vacuum takeoff there. It's vacuum takeoff, but that one there, I've got... Oh no, PCV. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we're learning. So, we'll just reassemble the rest of this carb in a moment, and then we'll be back on for attempt number 2. So, what goes where again? New fuel filter. Let's see. Looks the same. That's a NPT or equivalent thread. Don't want any more fuel leaks. See if I can use a spanner. Yeah, I'll do that. And this throttle idle maybe control thingy, majiggy, something or other. I can go back on. Perfect. I'll go back and meet that one. What else we got here? Maybe a quick cleanup. Flap's a bit crappy there. So we'll give him a quick cleanup and go from there. I'm not sure how many Ugga Duggers it is from factory. So we'll go for none to start with, hopefully. says. Click. 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 That's how you torque a carb. Right, so carb's back on. Now to reconnect all the crap that come off it. So, electrical cable for this funny thingy-majiggy. That was this massive bundle here. It's all been sorted out. Uh-oh, that one goes. Right, that's mostly in place. So we'll reconnect the fuel line with the new bits of hose that come with the filter. They very kindly give you a new piece of fuel hose and new clips. Quite generous. Actually, let's be smart. Let's check it holds fuel first before we bite ourselves in the arse. Right, no visible fuel leaks, straight up. Accelerator pump works, no fuel at the bottom. Success. After a headache, of course. So, that's good. Means fuel line can come off again. So here we go. This is what it had put on before it left the States. There's a new fuel pump up there, and it had still the old fuel hose coming across here. So I've replaced it for 2 new clamps of good quality and a decent quality bit of hose. You may not think there's much of a difference, but trust me, the terrible quality hoses, which is mostly available from Halfords and eBay, they just perish after a year. They're not good at all. So replace that. It's a steel line. It comes back from here and goes back up to there, and then it comes in to another rubbery plastic, nylon, whatever it is, line. It comes back through the car and back to steel, up in by the wheel there, and then back around. It seems pretty good, to be fair. The hose isn't too bad. It's nice. Someone's obviously hit this on a trailer. Someone's hit this on a trailer or something, but nothing appears to be in bad condition. So we'll see if we can get some fuel up. That'd be nice. So what we're aiming to do now is, I thought before we chuck some potentially dodgy fuel in the carb, we'll try and get the fuel pump priming. Well, we'll see if it pulls it through by itself. If not, we'll try and prime it. So ignition's off, and all we're going to do is turn the starter over and see if we can get any fuel up here. Okay, maybe we'll try prime it. Keep going. Yeah. Right, we'll backfill and see if it will pull some through then. Okay, we've got fuel. That's good. And considering the jug was already dirty before, the fuel looks good. So ignoring the dirt in there, it looks and smells fine. So potentially it could well be only 6 months old. So let's re-hook up the fuel system. So fire extinguisher ready again. Let's see if she fires. After it's pumped some fuel into the carb. Right, so we'll let idle for a few minutes and just see that she doesn't still, and that there's fuel coming through. So, fuel system's great. She seems to run fairly well, but I'm not sure of a spot on yet. Until we really tear apart all that vacuum system is not working, we won't know. Temperature gauge doesn't seem to show anything, but she is getting warm. So, not to worry about that at the minute. Oil pressure, no fuel leaks, which is good. So, I guess the next thing to do is test the automatic gearbox and go backwards and forwards. What's the worst could happen, eh? So she seems to run great, bar the holes in the exhaust, where you can hear her popping a bit. Well, I'm quite pleased with a bit of success again after a small setback, but overall she runs better than I expected. It's a great surprise, and I'm sure will be a great surprise to the owner. So, now she runs great. I think the next plan will be to check the fluids. Well, Next episode we'll be taking it for test drive, but before that, do a test checking the diff oil because I've seen it's leaking, gearbox because it's also been leaking. Potentially do a fluid change of both of them, depends. And I know the oil and filter on this is alright. I want to get it cleaned up first, and because I can see some signs of some potential leaks, get it cleaned up and verify that before we do an oil and filter change on it. But it's not bad as is. I think it's probably done like no miles what's in there. So anyway, that's great news. So if you want to see it drive properly, well, down the lane, next episode, and you're not already subscribed, then why not subscribe to the channel and see what's coming up. And if you've got any feedback, suggestions, comments, abuse or praise, then why not drop a comment and give the video a like. So yeah, I've been Jordan, and this has been a semi-success. Cheers.